Hey guys, Matt here, and today I'm back for r/PettyRevenge day number 16. Yes, I am shaking up the intro a little bit, but it gets repetitive the way I was doing it. Today I have 4 stories lined up, so let's go and get into them. First up, man calls sister crippled. Dad gets ultimate revenge. When we were younger, my sister spent a lot of time in a wheelchair on and off. Obviously, my dad needed to be able to park in the parking space right outside our house and closest to the curb. This was because he wouldn't damage any cars when moving my sister from the car to the chair and vice versa. It meant he didn't have to carry my sister very far and could just load her out really easily. It made life easier. Oh, the dad had MS. Okay. So anyways, our neighbor was a proper dick about it. He shouted at my dad every time he parked in this spot. They had an ongoing war for about 8 months. My dad took it all in his stride until this man called my sister a fucking cripple. So my dad called the council to inquire how much it would cost to make the space made into a permanent disabled spot. So my dad paid the money and got the space repainted to be a disabled spot, which also meant if the neighbor parked in it and was caught, he would be fined. We moved house 3 weeks later. To my knowledge, 15 years later, and the spot is still there. Okay, and we got an image to see what this... Oh yeah, the yellow lines are still there. They are a bit faded. Just turns it into a parking spot for disabled people and paid the money for it, which is just brilliant. It's like, you're gonna call my sister cripple, enjoy not being able to park in that spot ever again. Why you should be a meatball? I don't know why I said a bit Italian on that one. Probably because it's meatballs. We have this amazing Italian place. Oh, yep. It's like I predicted it. But it's a meatball. You sort of expected to do that sort of thing. We have this amazing Italian place near us. Their meatballs are of pork, lamb, and beef. Truly things that melt in your mouth. The hard part is that my girlfriend is a very attractive Hispanic woman. The owners of this restaurant, as I have heard, are from Sicily. When she goes in to order our meatball subs, they load up her order. Each sandwich has 5 of these wonderful mixed meats with Parmesan cheese. Flirtatious, happy Italian men, ogling to fulfill her order. Now, if I go in to order the same, white man, blonde hair, blue eyes, they are short with me, don't offer options, and tell me the X amount. Wanted to charge me extra for Parmesan cheese. I literally get 4 meatballs per sandwich. When I get my food, each sandwich is short a wonderful spicy meatball. Now for the PettyRevenge. A few days later, I called asking for the manager. I told him that I was the editor of a popular food critic for the local newspaper. Or local paper. I went on to ask him several questions about their foods, menu, and the pricing. At the end, I told him that I sent both female and male critics to judge their menu. When I explained that a female critic was being hit upon and offered more than a male critic, he went into full-out damage control. I said I would publish my report in the next week. Of course, that never happened because I wasn't a food critic at all. Since then, when I go in, I get my 5 meatballs on my sandwiches. It's just imagine being served short 1 meatball. It's like, yeah, that is sexist, I'm pretty sure. Serving the hot females, an extra meatball. We know you want to give them your balls. And I mean it in the I mean it in the way that I said it. Colleagues keep leaving documents at my desk without identification, so I threw them away as trash. First off, English isn't my first language, so there might be mistakes. I work as a personal assistant to one of the top managers in quite a big company, around 500 people in HO. I have a separate small office that is out of secretary's view, so they can't see who comes or who goes. Among other things, I have to check all the documents that are addressed to my boss, both external and internal mail, including personal notes. I look through them and report them personally and redirect if needed. Even though I'm almost all the time at my desk, sometimes I go out to talk to my boss or simply use the bathroom. In cases like this, people either wait at my office, leave it with boss's secretary, or simply put it on my desk with a note on who bought it, so I can call back and get some info if needed. It's not an official rule here, but it's common sense. Well, common sense for everyone, but one small department. Head of that department is a great fun guy, but really laid back and inattentive at times. I've had other issues with this department and told him about it, but nothing ever changed. Usually they just leave stuff on my table without folder or a note. I always have to track down the person who made it by calling their department and wasting time. Please don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound important or something. I am paid to be efficient and I like being efficient. So once I go to the bathroom and return to a paper lying on my desk, no note, nothing, but the content of it, it could be from literally anyone, but I have a strong gut feeling that that's this department. I know it sounds like not a big deal, but when you deal with this for 3 years straight, it annoys the hell out of you. So I put it away, waiting for them to call me at the very least. 2 hours go by, nothing. So I throw it with the other trash into the shredder. 5 hours after that, my boss calls me and asks if I received any documents from head of that department. I answer with, personally, I haven't received anything. Just in a short while, head of that department comes to my office with one of his employees. Apparently, my boss gave him an earful because that paper was due a few hours ago. So the head of the department tells me that his employee, I'll call him K, swears he gave me that paper. Me, did you give it to me personally? No, but I left it on the desk, pointing to my desk full of other papers. Where? Did you leave it with the note? No, but it was quite important. You would have seen it. Well, if it was important, you shouldn't have given it to me personally, right? And that was the end of the conversation. He bought and handed that document in 5 minutes. A couple of days pass by and they bring me everything personally. I doubt it's for long, but for now I feel satisfied and a bit bitchy. Just to clarify, no damage was done to the company or my boss because of the delay of that paper. Okay, so important paper. You don't leave a note, it's going to get thrown in the trash. Leave your damn notes for it. Former mother-in-law used too much salt in her food. Asked her to tone it down. She refused. So I hid her salt shakers the next time we ate there. I have suffered from chronic migraine since I was a kid. Something important for every migraine sufferer is to know their triggers. Triggers are the things in your life that are most likely to start a migraine. For some, it may be extreme heat. For others, it's stress. And for me, it's salt. I can't have a lot, and if I do, a migraine will start almost right away. Due to this, I can only have Chinese food every once in a while, and I have to be very careful to read labels for sodium content. Migraines hurt like a mofo, but can also send me to the ER, which is expensive. My ex-mother-in-law, I'll call her Karen, loved to cook and add too much salt to everything. It didn't take me long to notice that right after eating a meal prepared by her, my head would start beating like a drum. We had dinner with them every Sunday. So my ex went to Karen, explained my situation, and asked her to tone down the salt. Karen was not happy. She thought changing the ingredients of her food would alter the taste too much. She agreed to cut back, but the very next time we had dinner with them, I went home feeling like my head was going to explode, and I knew she hadn't. My wife asked her about it later, and Karen said she originally cut the salt, but after tasting it, decided it wasn't flavorable enough and added it back in. There are other things other than salt, woman! She told my wife she wouldn't sacrifice flavor for me, so that's the last time we had Sunday dinner there. Months later, we had to go there for a birthday party. We arrived early, hours from dinner, so Karen hadn't started cooking yet. I was in the kitchen getting a beverage and saw her precious salt shaker sitting on the counter. I picked it up and went to the pantry and hid it behind some boxes of cereal. While there, I saw the round refill container, grabbed that and hid it too. Hours later, Karen is cooking and we hear a commotion. She's upset she can't find her salt shaker. She goes into the pantry, complaining that she also can't find the large container either. My wife and I were sitting outside, acting like nothing was out of the ordinary. She ended up cooking all the dishes without salt and bitched the whole time about how horrible everything tasted. You need to put other things other than salt, woman. Karen was in a very bad mood, but as everyone dished up. It wasn't long before they started complimenting her on the food. People were saying it was some of the best she's ever made, and from her face you could see she was shocked to hear that. Several people said to her, "This is great. Did you tone down the salt? You used a lot, you know. This tastes like you used the perfect amount." To which Karen hissed, "It has no salt because I can't find my shakers." Nobody else was bothered by this. They just nodded and agreed it was amazing. The more they complimented her, the more upset she got. For some reason, she never thought to ask anyone if they had purposely taken them. We ate and then got up to leave not long afterward. On our way out, we went by the kitchen to take some leftovers home. While there, I pulled the salt shaker and container out, put them in our bag, and took them home and trashed them. It was the first time I had eaten a meal with that family and not gone home with a migraine. TLDR, mother-in-law puts too much salt in food, gives me migraines. Asked her to stop, she said no. I hid her salt shakers the next time we were there, and people raves about her food, telling her she uses too much salt. Okay. Oh, jeez. It's just, you use too much salt on your food. Your food is just salt. I'm pretty sure you'd sit down with a salt rock and just go at it. And you'd say, "This is the best meal I've ever had." Anyways, I'm going to end this episode here. Links will be in the description to my main channel and the channel that you're on right now watching this video that has links on the video itself to the playlist and the last episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, ding. I'm Mad Scientist out.